let's roll the titles, let's get on with the show. Well, my colleague Helena Chard still is out of action at the moment. She's in Cyprus working on a project, so it is me by myself again today. So basically we're going to carry on from what we actually started last week, the life and times of King Charles. And I thought today you might be finding it very interesting to really, first of all, look at his school life, the types of things that have created the education that have actually created the man today. So this is some of the sort of the historic facts about King Charles and when he was a young boy. So his school life started at Hill House in West London on the 7th of November 1956. And I think at that time he was quite happy to sort of be close to Buckingham Palace, the Queen and Prince Philip as well. Although on one occasion, when he was 6 years old, he was allowed to actually see his mother and father off at Heathrow Airport when they were going away for 5 months. And he got to him so much that the actual leaving for 5 months that Prince Charles, as he was then, as a young schoolboy, started to cry. And a photographer saw this and took a picture of him crying, and the next day the newspaper used the photograph of Prince Charles crying and they called it "Your Royal Cryness." After the palace saw that, they never allowed Charles to see off his parents ever again. And then he went to boarding school at Cheam School in Berkshire, and this was a time when he started to sort of realized that in reality, from the time he was 3 years old, at one stage he would become king. And then he moved to Gordonston, which is a very austere place in 1962 in Elgin in Scotland. And Gordonston was really at the type of place where every day they had cold showers, they had a lot of physical activity as well. And I don't think it was his happiest time, to sort of say the least. Then fast forward, because as we all know, King Charles is just about, with Queen Camilla, going back to Australia again. Now the reality at the moment is that King Charles and Queen Camilla, it doesn't seem like they are so welcome as they have been in the past, because the governors of the different areas of Australia, none of them apparently, allegedly, are turning up to greet him. So it's going to be a rather strange time for him. But he's used to strange times in Australia because he went to Timbertop Outpost of the Geelong Church of England Grammar School in Melbourne for 2 terms. And he hated it. And actually during that time, nobody came to see him at all other than the Queen Mother. And he always had this great fondness for the Queen Mother anyway. So that was a time when it was quite a torrid time for him. So then he went back to Gordonston where he became head boy. And before too long, yes, he started going to college and university. And he went to, first of all, he took 6 O-levels and some A-levels, and he got a B grade in history, we are told, and a C grade in French. So then he moved to Cambridge University in 1967, and he started off with archaeology and anthropology, but he changed to history for the second part of his degree and was awarded a 2.2 degree at the time. So interesting times for him when he was young. But now I thought you may be interested to know exactly what King Charles's lifestyle is all about. Now, he apparently has inherited assets of almost 2 billion with a total immunity from inheritance tax. He is obviously head of several estates. So Balmoral Estate, for example, in Scotland, has 21,725 hectares, 53,684 acres, including a Grousemoor estate valued at £80 million. Also, one of his other favourite places is Sandringham Estate in Norfolk. He bought this it was bought, I should say, in 1862 by Queen Victoria. Prince Philip then decided to monetise the estate. Tourists can visit the manor for £23 a head. It has hundreds of rental properties as well. 6,400 hectares of farmland and commercial lets valued at £250 million. Now, one last fact. As we all know, at the moment, we seem to be suffering in Britain with our politicians on gifts, but there's a much more strict policy for gifts with King Charles. Official gifts received in the course of formal duties and functions which are not treated as private property are known as the palace gift policy. But personal gifts from people who know him personally to the royals, he is allowed just to keep personally for himself. And during that time, there's been a lot of sort of strange situations that he's been gifted in the past, but they in some way always sort of are placed in areas where they can be brought out if necessary. So a little bit about what's happening with King Charles and Queen Camilla at the moment. As we said last week, he's going to be taking time off from his cancer treatment right now. And I think, and obviously he's very much, or has been looking very much forward to his time in Australia. And I think it's a shame, quite honestly, at the moment that perhaps some of the Australian governors of the territories have decided perhaps not to meet him. Because I know at the same time he is still very fond of Australia. He's actually said recently that if there was another referendum, then the reality is that he would abide by that. And so if the Australians, I should say, did not want King Charles as their head of state anymore, he is happy to relinquish that title at the same time. But I think, quite honestly, at the moment, I'm a traditionalist. Although sometimes I think King Charles really needs to sort of listen to other people other than some of the advisors who just tell him what he wants to hear. I think the reality at the moment, he has got a kind heart. Queen Camilla has got a kind heart. And it is a shame that when he's going through all these issues with his health right now, that perhaps there wasn't a little bit more compassion towards him from Australians at the same time. But who knows? This could sort of change and he could find himself in amongst crowds of people. It is reckoned at the moment that many thousands will turn out to actually see him across Australia. And I hope that it becomes one of these very successful times for him, because I think, this type of thing needs to buoy him up again. He took on becoming king very, very late in life. And now I think he's trying his very best in Britain to actually bring Britain back together again as a king and trying to keep the royal family together. As you know, has been problems with the royal family recently with Harry and Meghan, but I hope again, alongside William and Kate, there has been talk at the moment that perhaps some of the young royals are reaching out to Harry and Meghan as well, and that will make Charles's really issues about it much more easier to deal with. So we're just going to take a short break now, and then basically we're going to show you some of the recent videos that are going on online. Stay tuned.
Festival for Earthshot.
Oh, amazing.
We selected the winners yesterday for Earthshot. David was there, so honestly the fans sort of situation's going on, lots of prize counts and everything. David was there.
I was very lucky to meet him last week for the first time in person.
It does help kind of solidify all the support that's there for you, from the bursaries, the scholarships, all the mentoring programs, and the advice, and all that. How are you judging it? How are you judging the criteria? Work out which one to start with. Children wrestling at the controls.
Struck me more than anything. It cost about £2,000 to get this car. That's a very big way in. And so if we can help, and actually I do think
The screen arts are such an important part of the fabric of our lives, allowing different voices and perspectives to be accessed and enjoyed in the comfort of our own homes. That's why, as you've heard today, it is so crucial that aspiring creative professionals, regardless of their background or circumstance, have a real opportunity to bring their ideas and stories to life. Opening the door to the creative industries to as many young and talented individuals as possible also includes working to ensure that young people are exposed to as wide a variety of voices and narratives as possible, as early as possible, and ensuring that young people from all backgrounds can see themselves reflected on.
Children wrestling at the controls.
The screen arts are such an important part of the fabric of our lives, allowing different voices and perspectives to be accessed and enjoyed in the comfort of our own homes. That's why, as you've heard today, it is so crucial that aspiring creative professionals, regardless of their background or circumstance, have a real opportunity to bring their ideas and stories to life.
Okay, welcome back. Well, weren't they some great videos? As always, I mean, the royal family seem to be doing all sorts of fun things right now and really getting in grips with what's going on in Britain and the crowds of Britain as well. So now we hand over to Philip Sykes, the British School of Excellence. And where are you today, sir?
Firstly, hello, Ian. Lovely to see you. I am reporting to you all the way from beautiful Sao Paulo, Brazil. We are here as an organization. I have the most incredible partner who has a team of 7 powerhouse ladies who support the British School of Etiquette in Brazil, Escola de Etiquette de Brasilia, and it's just awesome. We had the most beautiful evening last night, presenting to around 50, 60 people from industry on the power and importance of etiquette and manners and emotional intelligence, hospitality intelligence. And dare I say it, we were able to launch the first ever book in Portuguese, which has been translated by our amazing partner Patricia, and we did a book signing.
Excellent. Well, let's start off with that. Let's see the book, Philip.
Here it is. Here, I'm super proud. It's a milestone in the journey of the British School of Etiquette and Excellence. It really and truly is. It's been a long time coming. We started working on this during the pandemic. It's taken a lot of hard work, time and energy that's gone into this. And it's not a book giving you a list of rules of do's and don'ts. It's very much a book about giving you these quintessential tools that you can elevate and shift and change your whole life. Yeah, you know, as I've always shared with you, Ian, etiquette, manners, your emotional intelligence is a lifestyle choice. You choose that, and it serves you all the way through the rest of your life.
Yeah, great stuff, great stuff. And how can people get hold of the book, Philip?
Well, we are waiting to launch the English version of this soon, so I will be informing you in good time. That'll be hopefully available in the next couple of weeks. We actioned this, or should I say my amazing team here in Brazil did all the actioning. I just sent a script, and within a few weeks, boom, it was like a bunny rabbit had jumped out the hat. So we will be making an official announcement where the Audible, the ebook, the hardcover, the soft cover will be available for purchase.
Excellent. Well, that's great to hear. So basically this week you may be aware what's happened in London on Monday when there was an international global event for investment or investors to hear that Britain is open for business. And they raised in one day with the help of Keir Starmer and other people at the same time. In fact, they met King Charles that night in St Paul's as well after the event. Basically at the moment, how do companies, how do young people, what is the etiquette that young people need to actually go to the first steps of trying to get investment?
Certainly. What a great question. Ian, for me, the first thing that I would always focus on, it's very much, you know, when you secure an investment, it's more than just presenting a good idea. It's really about the preparation. You have to present yourself because with all due respect, people buy people and people love to work with people that they feel they can trust and they see huge potential. So trust is very, very important. You have to know your numbers, and let's understand how we maintain good etiquette during every bit of interaction. This is very much about how do you dress, how do you show up, before, during and after the pitch. You must definitely follow up and go above and beyond. In certain aspects, I would encourage people to do handwritten thank you letters to the people that have given them the time of day to listen to what they have to offer as human beings and as a business opportunity. And I think preparation with very strong, polished interpersonal skills, it can really elevate the chance that you could have of securing some very, very fortunate investment. And let's also understand, it's a privilege to be able to secure investment. People must not look at this as a hand-me-down or hand-me-out.
Yeah. And I was watching the other day one of your videos, one of your great videos. I think it was on TikTok or one of the other ones. But basically, you were saying that the start of starting your business activities, all the things that you went through because you were worried about entering a room with people that you didn't know, And so you did certain practices like shining your shoes, for example, in order to actually make the best impression. Just go through that process.
Yeah, you very rarely get a chance to make a good first impression. But let's understand that people, with all due respect, we ought not to judge, but we do. It's the very old part of our brain that is there to so-called protect us that does the judging. And we judge people within 3 to 6 seconds. And that's quick. It's quicker than one would ascertain or imagine. So please understand, ladies and gentlemen, when you are presenting, if it's not your specific style, understand what style is required of you in order to be able to present yourself correctly, because don't ever forget, people see you before they hear you. And make sure that you utilize the correct language skills, polished language. Elevate your language skills. And I don't mean incorporating big, large words. I'm talking about just using dynamic, positive, engaging language that people can connect with you on. And there's a whole journey into this. The art of conversation will support you and so forth.
And I know you're traveling the world at the moment. So you've just been in America. You're now in Brazil. You're going, sorry, where again next?
Going to the Bahamas.
Going to the Bahamas next.
30 hours of Friday morning.
And you've been in the Middle East as well. So, but basically, do you find different rules apply in different parts of the world for etiquette?
I love that question. Ian, yes, because etiquette is how we connect and engage with people on a level that they like to be connected, engaged on. So in other words, etiquette is not a hard, steady thing of do's and don'ts. It just guides you and steers you of how to make that very finite, incredible first impression and connection. So yes, every country has their own certain rules of connecting and engaging. You know, in Brazil, they're very hospitable. They love a hug. They're very physical. And whereas in Qatar, you would never approach in that vein. So there are little of these nuances that we all ought to know in every part of our journey. And as you know, the world has become such a small place. We live in a very strong multicultural society globally, and understanding the importance of, you know, one another's traditions, one another's backgrounds, and the etiquette that is involved in those cultures is fundamental in life. It builds relationships and it makes life a lot easier.
Okay. And finally, Philip, as always, how can people get in contact with you?
Certainly. Well, as always, the 3 W's .thebritishschoolofexcellence.com and hello@thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. We love conversations. We've got WhatsApp on our website. We've got a chat button. We've got telephone numbers. Please engage with us. We love when people book a Zoom call with us. We are here to support you, help you, and guide you wherever possible.
Philip, thank you so much for your time again today. As always, great information. I'm so pleased about your book as well. And we'll be talking to you again next week. Thank you for your time today.
So look forward to it. Thank you, Ian. Best wishes.
Thank you. Well, everyone, that was another edition of the Royally Rich Lifestyle Show on ALB UK Television. I'd like to thank Helena Chard, as always. I'd like to thank as well Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck from USA Global TV and Radio, and also send my best wishes to my great colleague Helena Chard, who at the moment is in Cyprus, and I hope we'll be back soon to actually share the joys of appearing on this show once more. So from me, Ian Pelham Turner, I hope you have a great week. I hope you've enjoyed the show again, and we will see you again next week. Bye for now.